Welcome back to another episode of the Drunk Bond Podcast with your host, James St. John Smythe, your podcast friend. That's me. And today we'll be discussing The Living Daylights. That's no joke. We're actually going to do another Timothy Dalton movie. So of these maybe 10 revisits of all these movies, I'm going to do all the Dalton movies. And no one else gets that kind of pampering. Doesn't make much sense, does it? Because if you know anything about this podcast, you know that Daddy's not a big Dalton fan. Why am I not? Well, you're about to find out. But hey, I'll tell you this, I'm open-minded about Dalton. Since the get-go, everyone loves Dalton now. It's like become the cool thing to love him. Every time I watch Living Daylights, I'm like, all right, maybe this will be the time. This is going to be the time I get it. That I understand why people love him. I'm very open-minded, so can I say that before going in? Okay. What am I drinking today, you're asking? I know what you're thinking. I always know. That's why I'm your podcast friend. I'm having some milk punch. Gross, right? No, not gross. Not gross at all. That's half and half brandy, simple syrup, vanilla, and just trust me on that one. It's from Brennan's in New Orleans, and it's a wonderful, wonderful drink. So just drink it. And these are like little nuggets of gold I'm giving you all. Between this and like the peach daiquiri and the cucumber gimlets and all this stuff, like just thank me for that. If you want the actual recipe for the milk punch, you're gonna have to like seek me out. Yeah, I can't just give you all this shit. All right, boundaries, people, boundaries. So that concludes our cocktail minute to start the show. A little backstory for Living Daylights. I'm sure you already know, right? Roger Moore left, they hired Pierce Brosnan, and then he couldn't do it because his TV show picked up his contract, and then we were left with fucking sloppy seconds Timothy Dalton, which no one wanted. And they already like wrote the movie before Dalton was cast, so I feel like they wrote it for a Roger Pierce or a campier type person, and not a frowny biscuit like Dalton. So, you know. Hey, that's a good thing. I'm saying something good about Dalton. Like, you can't blame him, right? Well, watch me blame him. So yeah, that's it. Let's just get to it. Enough's enough. We start off with a gun barrel, which I like his gun barrel. I like Dalton's gun barrel. Okay, huh? There's a compliment for him. Don't ever say I didn't say anything good about Dalton. Good gun barrel. And a pre-title sequence. So, 3 00 agents are on a training exercise in Gibraltar. And they're using like paintballs and stuff. It's just a little, it's just a little exercise. No big deal. Nothing to be afraid of. I promise nothing horrible is going to happen to anybody. And they parachute in, and some dastardly guy is like staring at him with binoculars. And someone shoots said dastardly guy with a paintball. And dastardly guy shoots him back with a real fucking gun. And the soldier's like, "Time out! You didn't switch the gun. That's a bullet. I'm dying. That's in my heart." And dastardly guy kills one of the agents too, and he gives him a message: "Smeart spionum," which we don't know what that is. Which is just like gobbledygook. And when that agent falls off, we get the Dalton reveal, which is actually a pretty cool reveal. I like this. And Dalton's pissed, and he jumps on the Jeep, which I like too. And after watching, like, Roger and Octopussy and View to a Kill, it's kind of nice to see, like, all right, this is a pretty cool, like, action Jackson, He's jumping on things. He's doing his own stunts. It's a pretty cool little scene. And they're fighting and everything in the car, and something, like, gets set on fire. Of course, the Jeep he's driving has explosives in the back. And they just fly off this fucking cliff. And this is just such a great Bond moment of them fighting, and Bond's like, "Oh, fuck this," and just pulls his parachute thing. Of course, he has a parachute on, and he just, like, parachutes out the back of the car while the guy just blows up. And then Bond parachutes onto this boat with a woman saying, like, nothing ever happens here. It's so boring. I'm assuming she missed that she's in the Strait of Gibraltar, and a Jeep that was on fire and exploded just flew off a cliff. I think that's a pretty exciting afternoon. I mean, she's on her own boat. She's drinking champagne, talking to her girlfriend. She has a portable phone. That was a big deal back then. I don't know how she's talking to someone on a boat, but that's beside the point. And then Bond comes in, and she's like, "Oh, fucking bingo." And they have boat sex, and we cut to the title sequence. Great. I like this pre-title sequence. It's a good one. Dalton's good in it. It's a cool little mini thing, and it's a little intriguing. What the hell's going on? Smeared spionum, what does that mean? Those agents die. WT fuck, you know? I like it. So we got to the title sequence. These title sequences with Dalton, they're just dated. Like, they look the exact same as Connery and, like, early Roger Moore, you know? And I dare say, like, those even look better. It's just very 80s, and, like, the difference between License to Kill and GoldenEye's title sequence, I think I've talked about this before. It's, like, not even close. So, I don't like Dalton's title sequences. The song, though, I kind of like. That thing's growing on me. It's pretty catchy. I actually like it more than View to a Kill. What do you think about that? Huh? What do you think about that controversial opinion I just dropped on you? So anyway, we get to Czechoslovakia. And we're at, like, this orchestra. And Bond meets his ally, Saunders, who just sucks. There's no other way to say it, really. He just sucks. This is a mission, Bond, not a fancy dress ball. What are you I'm in a tux. What do you mean? Forget about the ladies for once. Like, Jesus, dude. What's your fucking deal? And then people shush them like they're 8-year-olds from across the way. And Bond's like, fuck you! Don't shush another adult. Alright? You can grab them by the lapels and say, hey, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. But don't shush. You know? You're not like a babysitter shushing children. You can't shush people anymore. It's rude. Don't do that. I know this is like a snooty opera crowd, but still. And apparently they got a guy, Georgy Koskov, that is defecting from Russia. Can't imagine why. And Bond's like, all right, cool. What's the plan? Like, he's like, you're in charge of protecting him. He's under the impression, for some reason, that you're the best. It's like, Saunders, what's your fucking deal, man? You ever read my book? I'm pretty awesome at this. And won't tell him the escape route, even though he's in charge of protecting him. It's like, well, I kind of need that information, man. And what's the downside to telling me how we're getting out of here? I need to know this stuff. Need to know basis. Yeah, I know that. I know it's a need to know basis. I need to know. Just give it to me. Piece of shit. And while he's like shooting, as Koskov is defecting, this girl in the window, the same cello player from earlier, she's trying to snipe him. And Saunders is like screaming at him, just take this shot. Shoot it. What are you waiting for? Dude! Do you even know what this life is about? You don't even know how to work the fucking night vision goggles. So I don't want to hear it, man. That's like spy shit 101. It's night vision goggles and like tiptoeing, and you don't even know how to do that. So I don't want to hear it right now, man. So Bond just shoots the gun out of her hand, doesn't kill her. You missed deliberately. And Koskov gets there, and Bond meets up with them later, and he's like, where is he? And Saunders is like, he's in the boot. He's in the trunk. And he's like, yeah, exactly. That's the first place they fucking look. I'm in charge now. I'm the captain. Yeah, we're real creative. Let's put him in the only hiding place that a car has. Where do you think they're going to look first? Oh, but they don't have a search warrant. Yeah, search warrant. Okay, where are you taking him? And he's like, sorry, old buddy, need to know basis. And you can see Bond give one bird out of the passenger window and one bird out of the driver window. That's double birds for Saunders. Fuck you, I'm out of here. So they put him in a pipeline to the west. This large worker at the pipeline place distracts the guy working so they can do this. We talked about this on GoldenEye, who the least attractive, quote, Bond girl is. I wouldn't really call her a Bond girl because she never really hooks up with Bond or anything, but I wonder why they cast this woman in that role. I mean, she has large breasts, don't get me wrong, but, you know, so do a lot of other really attractive people. I wonder why they cast her. Someone look into that for me and just let me know. Just send me a telegram about it, because I'm curious. So they send Koskov off in a jet. He's Koskov. And meanwhile, like, Q's popping fucking pills. Did y'all notice that? He's kind of out of breath from, like, running to the jet and everything. He just starts, like, popping pills. What you doing there, Q? You alright, fella? I mean, what, did he find those in his pocket? Hello, old friend. What do you do? Just popping pills. Saturday night, for Christ's sake. Gotta get your kicks somehow, but I mean, it's a little extreme. So they get back in the car, Bond and Saunders, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna tell M you didn't do the thing. And how the hell does Saunders know he missed her on purpose? Maybe he just missed. And Bond's like, I don't give a shit. Like, tell him whatever you want. Whoever she was, she must have scared the living daylights out of her. And Saunders says, hey, that's the name of the movie. And we cut to MI6, and we got a new Moneypenny, new Bond, but same live ammo in Q's lab. Because we got cannons going off and couches folding into each other and a lot of stuff. The ghetto blaster, they're going over these KGB female assassins, and they just recycle one of these things for Xenia later. A woman that can like strangle you with her leg, something like that. I can't remember what it was. So Bond gets his Aston Martin. That's always fun. And Bond's kind of also interested in the cello player. Who the hell was that? Who the hell was that? But no such luck. And we cut to a blonde assassin, Necros, who just has these absolute stallion strides when he's running and kills the milkman at this like safe house. So he's posing as a milkman. They search him before he comes in. You don't want to search the actual milk truck. He could have anything in there. Hey, whoa. That milk's not explosive milk, is it? Oh no, it's just regular milk. Okay. I'm just checking. That better not be explosive milk. I'm gonna keep my eye on you. I mean, everyone in that place can't have a gun. Like, Bond can't have a gun. I didn't get a gun. Did you get a gun? But yet, they don't even search the truck of this new male guy who looks very suspicious. And Koskov's meeting with him and Bond and everybody. And it says that the old death despise policy from, like, the Cold War from 20 years ago or whatever is revived by the new head of the KGB, Pushkin. Took over for Gogol. And the plan is, let's take out Pushkin to avoid, like, a British-American-Russian conflict and all that. Bond, like, meanwhile, brings him a big, like, picnic basket of shit. Like caviar and Bollinger and foie gras. Is that even... What's that about? Hey, if you defect, we'll give you some treats. Okay, what about money? Can I have a bunch of money? Okay, well, we have treats. We don't have much money, but we have treats. And that blonde Necros attacks. He's throwing milk bombs everywhere. Turns out they were explosive. And Green 4, or this cook, or whoever this guy is, God bless this angel, who handles Necros for like a good 10 minutes. I mean, they start getting into an absolute fucking brawl in the kitchen. And this is like the best fight that ever takes place in the Bond series that doesn't feature Bond. He gets his face like jammed on a griddle. They use an electric knife swinging at each other. Necros is kicking him in the face. They're throwing boiling water at each other. Finally, Necros smacks him with a cast iron skillet across the beak, and it is one of the funniest things. It never ceases to not get a laugh from me. Dong! And he's absolutely concussed. That's at the very least. I mean, he's out. Night. I mean, they gotta give that guy a medal after this. As soon as he wakes up. My God! We just saw the security camera, man. Well done, sir. What are you, a cook here? What do you do here exactly, sir? And he just starts vomiting because he hasn't passed concussion protocol yet. Oh, I don't feel so good. I think I gotta go to a hospital. So Necros just takes over the entire place. Shouldn't be that hard if no one has a goddamn gun. And he gets a chopper out of there, like he's a medic, bringing Koskov out of there. And he has like one of the workers at gunpoint. And they're not like, when they get to the helicopter, they're not like, hey, he's a bad guy. Don't take him out of here. Y'all are medics. He's stealing this dude. You don't want to give him a heads up? That's just me. That's what I'd have done in that situation. But I wasn't in that situation. So now Koskov's free. And they don't know what the fuck's going on. If Koskov is really defected, is he not? What's going on? Who are you? What are we? Who knows? So we cut to MI6. And Bond's told to kill Pushkin and not to pursue Kara, the cello girl. Meanwhile, he gets his car from Q. His Aston Martin. The same one they're using from No Time to Die, actually. Which I love that. That car and the one from On Her Majesty's is actually a pretty solid freaking car, which we just never saw again. We always have to focus on the DB5. Let's not forget these two. Let's not forget them. And if the Lotus ever comes back into style, if that ever becomes like a cool car again, I expect to see that back too. I expect us to play some homage to Roger at some point. So I haven't forgotten that. So he ends up checking Kara against M's wishes, and it turns out she shot blanks at Koskov to like make the defection look real. And Bond poses as Koskov's friend to find out what's going on, where is he, all this stuff. She apparently got like taken from the KGB and then got released. And Bond's like, they let you go so they could follow you. Well, then why not just follow her? Why even take her and release her? Why not just start following her? You already have her. Stupid. That was stupid. And Kara's like, yeah, I don't know where he is. You know Yorgi? I have not seen him. I don't know where. I mean, within seconds, you know, okay, this girl's pointless. This is just some random girl that Koskov's banging. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard from him. I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is, but please tell me where. I miss him so much. And Bond should be like, okay, you know nothing. Good to see you. Take care. But no, he just like keeps her around for some reason. To this day, I don't really know why. So they leave her place and they lose the KGB. The old cello in the phone booth trick. You've seen it once, you've seen it a million times. And they leave, and for some reason she has to go back and get her fucking cello from like the conservatoire, like the concert hall. They don't just keep that for you. It's a Stradivarius. They're not going to keep that? Oh, where's Kara? It's her cello. She's been gone for 10 minutes. Should we just shatter it? Well, nah, man, it belongs to her. It's our friend. We keep it here until she comes back. Unless she's, like, dead, and then we'll, I don't know, give it to her family or sell it or give it to Mother Russia. So they put their life on the line to go back for this cello, and Dalton, Bond, is rightfully furious about this. He should have just said, fuck you. What are you going to do about it? Or just let her leave. Okay, go get your cello, and I don't see you again. You have no purpose in this story. But they get her cello instead. And thank God. He's like, learn the violin. And I'm like, yeah. Should have learned something else. Learn the flute. Anything but the cello. The biggest instrument. You might as well just do the tuba, man. It's humongous. Quit showing off. So they get like in this KGB car chase. It's actually pretty solid with the new Aston Martin. He starts lasering the side of it. What happened? I lasered the side of his car. That's what happened. He's about to shoot him with missiles. What is this? It's fucking missiles. I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff throughout the movie, so just get used to it and stop asking so many questions. I'm not going to say it again. Maybe just stop asking questions. And just watch. Enjoy the show. And then they end up on the ice, and Bond like gets a flat tire and like puts a ski on the side of it. You know, Q just figured if you're ever in a car chase on ice, you might need this. And he ends up escaping. They end up like skiing on her cello too. And they end up in Austria. So all's well. They escape. No big deal. So we cut to General Pushkin meeting with Brad Whitaker in Whitaker's like playroom. All these like stupid... He has all these like stupid fucking wax figures of like other leaders. Grow up, guy. What is all this? It's like Bonaparte, and he had to like pay money to do all this. Nerd. Yeah, I'd like to have one of me looking like Napoleon and one of this person, that person. I'd like to have one of me looking like Hitler. You know, like me and with a Nazi uniform and the swastika on each band and the mustache. I want to have me like a life-size wax figure of me looking exactly like Hitler. And the guy that makes these things would be like, okay, sure. I'm also going to call the fucking cops and get you put on a list, man. I'm going to keep my eye on you. So Pushkin tells Whitaker, I paid you $50 million as a deposit for these arms for Mother Russia. I want my deposit back. I don't want it anymore. And Whitaker's like, okay, cool. But you gave me, that's what a deposit's for. Do you know how deposits work? I know I'm an American and you're a Russian, but that's not just like a fun word we use. A deposit is in case anything goes awry, and I've gone to all kind of trouble for nothing. Then I keep the deposit. So nah, man, I'm keeping this money, asshole. Do you know what I went through to get all this shit? And Pushkin's like, you've had our money in a Swiss bank account with no payments. Yeah, man, there's also, I know you're not familiar with this either, but there's also a thing called profits. And I'm an arms dealer, and I've been working for a long time. I can't believe I'm actually defending Whitaker. But maybe I have enough profits to start paying for your arms somewhere else. I don't need to, like, tell you the accounting of my business. You paid for a product, I'm going to give you a product. You can't just take your money back. That's not how things work. And Pushkin's like, well, then I'm going to kill you. No, that's not nice. That's not how you end a conversation. It's a business meeting, you know? And you know, Whitaker didn't even serve in an army. He just, like, wears a general's outfit. Like a costume. Like he's going to Halloween. Like he's going trick-or-treating. That's the kind of fella he is. So I'm not happy with either one of these people right now. Let the record show, James Injun Smythe, as of now, doesn't like either of these motherfuckers. So we cut to Bond and Kara, and they're going to Vienna. They get into the hotel. They drop the cello. Careful! Oh, that's a problem? You have a problem with that, but you didn't have a problem with bullets whizzing by a couple minutes ago? You watch your mouth. when you're talking to me. And she just never stops talking about Yorgi. You know Yorgi? Can we see him? I owe him everything. He got me my cello. And they're talking mighty close. Let me ask you this, podcast listeners. Do you ever talk to one of your friends' girlfriends about 2 inches from their face? With a loving smile on your face? I don't. One might call that, I don't know, what's the American expression? Inappropriate? Bond needs to keep his distance, and I still don't know why she's even here. But maybe I'll learn later. And Bond's just pretty much in love. He buys her a dress. He's all giddy. He's like smiling, which with Dalton, it just looks odd. This is around the time, and I was all in for Dalton, like the pre-titles and the first couple scenes, but starting like with the little quips he was making in the car, I'm done. And now I'm certainly done. So, sorry, Dalton. You lose again. And we cut to Koskov. He's getting rubbed down at the pool, as you do. As you do, as you're a Bond villain. Actually, Bond gets rubbed down, too. As you do in a Bond movie. People get rubbed down all the time. It's no big deal. Just accept it. And him and Necros are meeting with Whitaker. Whitaker's eating lobster like a fucking psychotic. That's a pet peeve of mine. People that eat obnoxiously. Mouth open, making a bunch of noise, talking, food coming out of their mouth. I mean, I know you're a villain, but you don't see Stromberg eating like that. He has respect for himself. That's why. And that's Whitaker's problem. He doesn't respect himself. And if you can't respect yourself, then how am I going to respect you? I can't. I won't. And Whitaker's saying, hey, Pushkin canceled that deal, and that's not good, so I'm thinking murder? And they're like, well, Bond, we got this whole Spionum plot going so that Bond would kill Pushkin so we wouldn't have this problem. But he hadn't killed him yet. And Whitaker's like, well, kill another agent and make Bond hop too, man. Get him on it. Do I have to think of everything myself? So they say, sure. So we got to the opera. And Bond and we get our buddy Saunders back. That little piece of shit. And I don't know, they're talking about the cello again. Where did he get the money to buy such a nice cello? Like, I don't know, he's high up in Russia. Like, they have all the money. They can afford anything. All the money that Russia has is like 30 people have it at the top. Other than that, they're just like eating snow. I don't know what they do. So that's why he can afford a Stradivarius. And Bond's like, I have the girl because I'm trying to see what leads I can get from her. Well, prepare to be pretty disappointed, Bond. Because she's about as informative as this cocktail glass of milk punch that I have. So Saunders looks into the whole, the cello business. And he says, I'll meet you at at wherever or whenever. So we cut to, this county fair or something. I don't know what this is or why they're there. And they just start riding the rides. Why are they riding a roller coaster? The tilt-a-whirl, the bumper cars. Isn't he working? I mean, that carny must be like, seriously? When he gives him the ticket? You're like 40, man. And you're wearing a tux. It's kind of for kids. I mean, if you want to just have fun and ride a ride, that's cool. But you're riding all the rides. What's with you, guy? And what's with your bony Maroni friend? I don't like her either. And Bond says, well, you carnies are sure an odd bunch. And they get on the Ferris wheel, and Bond just turns the light out in the car. And he's like, you'll be able to see better. I think it's a pickup line from a pedophile handbook right there. And then at the top, the thing stops, and the car's like, why did we stop? And Bond's like, I arranged it. We could be here all night. What? You're kind of freaking me out, guy. And she's like, I don't know about this, because Yorgi and, you're whatever. And Bond's like, don't think. Just let it happen. It's like, all right, well, that's strike 3. You said 3 creepy-ass things in this very short Ferris wheel ride. And they just start fucking on top of this stuffed elephant that he won for being a good marksman at one of the stupid goddamn games at the county fair. And they just turn the machine on. I guess they don't realize because they're just in the middle of just going to Pound Town. And they open the door, and the whole crowd just sees full penetration. Bond's just inside her. That's unsettling. You're with your family, your kids. They shouldn't be subjected to that. But they have to learn the hard way on the birds and the bees. That's not the way Mom and Dad drew that up. But now they know. Now they know how it happens. And good for them. And 3 cheers for them. So, we cut to a Bond meeting with Saunders. And says the cello was bought by Whitaker. And that connects those two. How do you think that conversation went? When Koskov said, you need to buy our Stradivarius. I gotta buy what now? $150,000 fucking cello? For your lady? Why? Why? Seriously, why? How's that gonna help us? Break up with her, man. So then Necros kills Saunders. That's the other agent they killed to get Bond going. And they try to make Saunders look all nice before they kill him, but I haven't forgotten. St. John Smythe didn't forget. St. John Smythe has an elephant brain, much like that elephant they just had sex on in the Ferris wheel. That's the kind of brain that I have. Only my brain will not have sexed upon. Okay? I remember all. And I haven't forgotten that Saunders is a piece of shit. And he gets sliced in half by a sliding door or whatever, which is just great fun for everybody. And Bond's like, son of a bitch. And he sees the balloons and Necros, and he goes run after him. And Kara's like, where are you going? He's like, to murder someone. I can't answer all your questions. You gotta keep it down a little bit. And he can't find him. And then he's just pissed because his ally just got killed. And Kara's like, did you hear from Yorkie? And he's like, he's with Whitaker. The American? Yeah, you know him? He's a patron of the arts. Yorkie said he'd help me. Jesus, are you planning on doing anything for yourself at any point? They got you the scholarship. They got you the Stradivarius, that priceless fucking cello. All these gigs, these nice clothes. Are you planning on doing anything for yourself at any point in your life? I need more help, James. Can we go see Yorkie? Jesus Christ, you're just a gaping hole of need. You're playing concerts every night. I think you're pretty good. Drop Yorkie. Make a couple shekels and get out of that godforsaken country. That's just my advice. But she didn't take that advice. So Bond goes to Tangier to talk to Pushkin. And drives up, and there's like a bunch of bums playing music, and Bond's like, you motherfuckers, with your dirty, stupid music that no one likes, beat it. Get out of here, man. Go up in the mountains somewhere and stop bothering everybody. So he goes to Pushkin's room, confronts him about killing the agents. He's like, dude, your goose is cooked, man. You killed 2 of our guys. You got this whole program to kill all of our agents. You gotta go. Sorry. That's just the way of the world. I kind of like you personally, but I didn't know you were a psycho. Meanwhile, he rips off his girlfriend's clothes when one of his henchmen comes in. I don't know, to distract him. We're just gonna go with that, I guess. Distract him. I totally just didn't want to see her breasts. I wasn't curious or anything. I just wanted to distract a henchman. So Pushkin's like, dude, I didn't do it, man. We were about to arrest Koskov for embezzlement. I'm just saying how I'll roll, man. You know me. And Bob's like, well, gee whiz, I don't know what to do. But I like Pushkin. I have a little crush on him. And he says, well, you have to be dead in order for Koskov and them to keep moving forward so I can figure out what they're doing. So they stage a whole assassination of Pushkin. You know, classic misdirection. So Bond escapes, and a big old chase ensues over the rooftops. You know, in the deleted scenes, he got on a magic carpet over, clotheslines. That was in the deleted scenes. And now you know that. I bet you didn't know that before. Now you know it. Stick with me, man. St. John Smythe has all the fun facts for you. You don't look for any outside sources. I got them all. And I gave it to you right there. And you're welcome for that. So as Bond's skedaddling, these 2 girls ride up in this nice car, and they say, hey, you want to party? Get on in. And Bond says, absolutely. It's high time I got some tail in this movie. I haven't gotten any since the PTS. So he's like, all right, pull over here. And one of the girls pulls a motherfucking gun on him. He's like, well, Jesus Christ, this isn't good. But it turns out it's Felix. Isn't that nice? Why would you pull a gun on him? You get him in the car and say, hey, we're CIA. Taking you to Leiter. He's in town. Great, cool. Otherwise, he's going to start slapping you around, man. You're like a 110-pound girl with a gun. He's going to find a way out of it. He meets up with Felix, and he should be like, hey, Felix, let me ask you something, man. Why'd you do that? Oh, why'd I do what? Why'd you get these girls to pick me up and then have them point a gun at me like they're going to murder me and make me fear for my life? And now I'm thinking, well, I got to kill 2 of these girls when I just apparently killed the head of Russian intelligence. Why'd you do that? Oh, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just get a little crazy sometimes. I get a little funny in the head. Clearly, and this Felix is the worst Felix. I don't know if any Bond fan that doesn't agree that this Felix is the worst Felix we ever have. He's horrific and the most forgettable fucking guy, and I don't like him, and I don't appreciate him, and I don't even know why he's even here. I don't know what they talk about. What are you trying to do, James? Start World War III? I don't know what they're talking about. And I didn't even take any notes on it. I didn't bother to remember it. I just moved on from this guy. I've had it with him. I've had it up to here. So Bond goes back to his room, and Kara's just playing the cello over and 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 over. And he's like, oh, please, go on playing. And you can just hear someone, like, knocking a broom downstairs. No! Don't go on playing! Shut the fuck up there! You've been playing for an hour and a half. I'm trying to get some sleep. So apparently Koskov told Kara that Bond was KGB. And Kara's like, okay, James, let's have a poison drink. Let's have a drink, I mean. So they have a martini, and Bond just goozes it in one sip. How is it? It's perfect. Vodka, vermouth. I'm also picking up some bits of chloral hydrate. You know, Bond, as a secret agent, people are going to drug you from time to time. So don't just goose your drink in one sip. Maybe take a tiny little sip. And then when it's not drugged, then you can go on with your goosing lifestyle. But until then, take a quick little sip, make sure it's not drugged, and then move on. That's a little more advice. That's a little more advice from the desk of James St. John Smith. So he's drugged, and Koskov and Necros and all them come, and Bond's fucked. So let's do a little break for the advertisements. Okay? Who bought some time for Living Daylights? We have Chubby Broccoli's. Oh, I do remember this place. This is a solid place. Chubby Broccoli's. Do you like semi-erections and vegetables? Come to Chubby's, offering a unique mix of average-looking women and the finest produce in all the land. Chubby's is the place to be when you want to unwind after a long week. Indulge in one of their 5s and 6s while relaxing at the world-famous broccoli bar. And enjoy their carrot and asparagus buffet every Tuesday for lunch. That's Chubby Broccoli's, folks. What will you produce? That's just good old wholesome American fun. And Harry Saltzman could have learned something from Chubby. That's how you supplement your income. That's how you make your money work for you. Smart investments. Whorehouses and vegetables. All in one. Who doesn't love that? That's how you do it. I don't see Harry Saltzman investing in a salt place with prostitutes. Maybe if he'd have sprinkled a little salt on it, things would have turned out differently. But it didn't. And I don't have time to talk about Harry Saltzman right now. Because his shit's weak. And I just heard a little Bond news. I heard that Danny Boyle was let go, not because he wanted to, like, kill Bond and go a weird way. It was because he was too campy. Is there any truth to that? This was from a very shady, like, source. It was just kind of like I heard from one person's Twitter post. But I want to know if it's true or not. So, take that rumor with a grain of Harry Saltzman. So, back to the movie. We fly to Afghanistan. And apparently they're, like, smuggling diamonds in this whole thing. This is when things get a little out of hand. In the ice chest, they see, like, this heart beating. They're supposed to be, like, they're under the guise of he needs a heart transplant or whatever, and look, it's a heart. And Bond's like, that's an animal heart. Oh, thank you, doctor. Any more diagnoses that you want to share with us? And then they have diamonds around it, and this is at the point where I'm like, I don't really know what the plot is anymore. I'm not sure. And this is kind of like when me and my friends watch it. This is around the time we're like, all right, guys, $20 if anyone could tell me what's going on in this movie right now. Because now I'm a little lost. And they land and hear the 3 words that you never want to hear when you're traveling. Welcome to Afghanistan. And Yorgi's like, kill Kara and I don't care about her and suck it. So I think they're broken up. And they send him to prison. And this dipshit, obese prison warden is just the worst. He just keeps cracking these fucking jokes with that stupid nightstick. I can't stand this guy. You can tell Allah when you see him. And so they get in a big fight with the prison guard. And the guy in the cell next to him is like Cameron. He's the leader of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Mujahideen. I guess the people that end up being the Taliban. So they get out of their cell. And Kara's like, we're free. We're in a Russian airbase in the middle of Afghanistan. And she's like, yeah, but at least we're together. Oh, yeah, that's good too, I guess. Yeah, that was my first reaction too. We got out of our jail cell. We're in the middle of a Russian airbase, so we're still fucked. But at least I'm with Kara. At least we're together. That can give me some solace. Why are you still here again? We still don't know where Kara's here. No one's told me. I haven't, I've checked my email a couple times. No one's told me yet in the middle of this podcast. So they let Cameron out too, because they're just nice fellas. And he goes to Cameron's base, their Al-Qaeda base or whatever. And big shocker, everyone's holding fucking machine guns. This is at a friendly place. This is just their hangout. everyone's holding a machine gun. Looks a little bit like they do today, 40 years later. You're supposed to be like a legit political group or whatever, right? You don't want to go for like maybe a more peaceful look? Maybe slap on a tie. Maybe lose the gun and the bullets across your chest. That's not a good look, guy. You got a real PR problem. Maybe tuck your shirt in. People will take you a little more seriously. And then, him and Cameron are talking about something, and he gets like close to Cameron, and one of the dudes just puts the fucking machine gun in Bond's stomach. You better watch that fucking gun, man. What do you think I'm gonna do? Imagine leaders of other countries talking about some diplomatic shit, and the guy gets a little close to one of the leaders, and one of the guards just puts a goddamn AK-47 in his gut. What do you think this is, man? Goddamn savages? These are adults speaking. And I don't appreciate how many times they laugh at Bond. I'm a British agent. They start laughing. I need to get out of here. They start laughing. Like, what, I say something funny? Dalton didn't say any jokes because he's Dalton, so it can't be that funny. So what's the fucking joke? So it doesn't go that well. And Cameron says, best I can do is, we're on a mission in the morning. You can come with us, and we're going to go fuck up, we're going, do some deal with Koskov. So, alright. So he goes back to the room with Kara. And Kara's like, I was so worried. What's going to happen to us? And Bond's like, us? Well, I'm going to kill Yorgi. You, I'm not so sure about. Because these people do not have a good track record when it comes to women. People think I'm bad with all my little, jokes and misogyny. But get a load of what the Mujahideen think of as acceptable behavior when it comes to women. Might change your perspective a little bit on when it comes to mistreatment of a female. And then she gets all pissed because it's, dangerous. Just this classic stupid Bond girl trope where it's like, dude, this is the real world, sweetie. I don't know what to tell you, man. You want me to just go home? Sorry, It's pretty dangerous out there. And my cello player, kind of girlfriend, she told me not to do it. So, that's it. Any more missions you got? The ones that aren't dangerous, like the safe missions. Give me those from here on out. Kara really opened my eyes in this whole dangerous lifestyle. She was making some good points. I could get hurt. We can't have that, can we? Jesus. I'm a spy. Okay, I'm a British agent, and we have things that are called what's called missions, and my order is to complete them, no matter what. You put a stick on some strings, and it makes a nice little noise. That's what you do for a living, which is fine. There's a market for it. But let me do me, and you do you. And pipe down a little bit. So Bond goes with them on the mission next morning, and for some reason, Kara goes too. I have no idea why. But she's there, in all her Afghan garb and all this stuff. It's like, Jesus, really, guys? We're going to bring this girl around? So basically, Koskov's using Soviet funds for arms to buy opium. And he's going to sell the opium and keep the profits and still pay for the arms. I don't know, I guess with the principal. I don't know. He's just playing his clients' money to make money elsewhere. It just boils down to embezzlement of Russian funds, really. So, good job. That's really horrible. And Bond sneaks onto Koskov's truck and plants an explosive in one of the drug bags. And they spot him as he's loading onto the plane. And then Al-Qaeda, the Mujahideen, I guess, changed their mind. Because they're the ones that sell the opium to Koskov. And they just, change their mind to go save James. And they run back and just start attacking. And the Russians are like, the fuck? Nah, we're all good, guys. We have the drugs. You have the money. That's how a business arrangement works. We're good. Why are y'all bombing us all of a sudden? Y'all stealing the drugs back? No, we just, I don't know. We just want to kill you. I don't know. We're already in the desert. We don't have much to do. So we just thought we'd kill you. And Bond leaves on that big plane with all the drugs because there's a bomb on it, and I don't know. He didn't want them to have it. I don't know. I don't know what Bond's doing at this point, man. It's some Dalton ass shit. And Kara, for some reason, gets on the plane. Just stay there, or just don't get involved. You shouldn't be here in the first place. Ship her back somewhere safe. She's punching soldiers off her car. We're supposed to believe that it actually would hurt a soldier, her, and she's right on the side of the plane, trying to get James' attention. James! And Bond yells out the window, I don't think we should see each other anymore! And then there's another plane landing as they're leaving. No one told them that other plane, hey, there's a battle going on in the runway, so don't land right now. Of course, I don't think there's much air traffic control going on in Afghanistan. But, still, someone just give him a heads up. He could have been killed too. And then that plane that lands just runs into Yorgi's Jeep that he's using to follow James in. How the fuck did Yorgi even survive this thing? Go back and look at that actual explosion. There are no survivors in that. He gone. But apparently not. So, Necros makes it on the plane, and they get into a fight, and Kara is meanwhile, flying the plane. And she just starts pushing buttons. Shouldn't be doing that. You can't do that. That would be the last thing I'd do if I was flying a plane. You just keep it steady until someone is around that knows what they're doing. Or get on air traffic control and be like, all right, what do I do, guys? I for goddamn sure wouldn't start pressing buttons like an idiot. But she starts doing it. Necros ends up falling out the plane. He gets the boot. And Bond comes back. He defuses the bomb and comes to the cockpit. And Gara's just not even, looking ahead, using her eyeballs to see, oh, there's a mountain up ahead of us. You didn't see that until just now? Maybe, turn a little bit to the right or to the left, wherever the mountains aren't. That's pilot school. That's aviation school 101 too. Chapter 1, mountain ranges. Don't go near them. Avoid those. Chapter 2, women pilots. How to avoid those too. Oh, I kid. Women pilots are great. They're wonderful. That's why you see so many of them. So anyway, the Taliban makes it out okay, blows up a bridge and helps them out. So thank God for that. And I'm sure there'll be no long-term repercussions to letting all them live. We'll be fine. And they drive the Jeep out of the plane just before it crashes, even though they have flat land all of a sudden. They're on a runway landing when just a few seconds before that they're like, there's nowhere to land. It's all rocky terrain. That just makes you a liar, Bond. So the only guy left is Whitaker. Got to get this motherfucker. So Bond goes over there. He's recreating some Civil War fight. And Bond, much like us earlier, was like, what a fucking loser. All these statues. He's doing the battles and everything. He's playing games. He's laughing. He's having a good time. And he doesn't really seem to be too alarmed when Bond gets there. I'm not sure why Bond's doing any of this alone. I mean, this is a illegal arms dealer who's out of his mind and who has all the ammo in the world. And we're just going to bring this guy in by himself? The British want this guy arrested. The Americans want this guy arrested. And the Russians want this guy arrested. So what the fuck are we doing? So they get in this big fight, and sure enough, Bond's pinned down. He's got cannons firing at him, ruining his house. That's not cool. But Bond ends up, doing something, and he beats him. I don't know what happens. He uses his little keychain, his little whistle that he uses 4 times in the movie. I don't think I ever went over that. But he has that gadget. And he killed Whitaker with it. And after he kills Whitaker, some soldier comes in to shoot Bond. He's like, we've been fighting in here for 10 minutes with live ammunition. You didn't hear any of that? You just coming in now? Stupid. And then Pushkin and all of them come. I don't know why Pushkin's there in person, but he is. And Yorgi gets arrested and Bond saves the day. Hooray for card sense. And we cut to Kara playing the cello. In case you didn't get enough of that for this movie, we get one more time. And hey, there's a little John Barry cameo. John Barry he's written all the scores for all the Bond movies, pretty much all of them, up until this point. He's done probably 75% up to this point. And we get a John Barry cameo, we get a Gogol cameo, we get an Al-Qaeda cameo, everyone's cameoing over here. They barge in with guns and ammo. We had a little trouble at the airport. Oh, I can't see why. You gotta work on your bedside manner, I've already told him before, but you can't. It makes people uncomfortable walking around like that. In those robes and bullets all around you and machine guns. You can't do that. You're not going to make any friends that way. And Gogol's like, Kara, you were wonderful. I hope you can come play in Moscow. And she's like, absolutely fucking not. It's okay. He's with the Foreign Service and he'll arrange a visa so you can come and go as you like. And Kara's like, I don't give a shit. Did you see my house? It was gray. Everything was gray. You ever notice how all those dirty Russian cities and everything, when they film them, they're always all gray. Very drab. And that's what Kara's house was. And he's like, no, there's reds and yellows and purples over here. I'm staying here. It's colorful over here. And I'm not scared to get shot all the time. So no, I'm cool. Thank you for the offer, though. And she goes to her dressing room. Bond's in there whistling with his stupid little thing. I wish that would have... I wish whenever she whistled, it would have just set off the bomb and they would have just died right there. Wouldn't that have been a nice little ending? Do you think they have a nice little, cute, oh... And, it'll like attract Bond, but no, the whole room just explodes and everyone dies, everyone's dead, kill everybody. And, but no, they don't all die, they smooch and then, cause they're in love and they start fucking and everything's great. In credits. So there's Dalton's first movie, Living Daylights. Got pretty good reviews. Still is pretty well revered amongst the Bond fans. Like, on that list of all the Twitter fans, when there was like 800 fans that listed their top 24 movies, this ranked at like number 8, 9, 10, something like that. So this is like high up there. And I don't get it, man. And every time I watch it, I'm like, this is the time I'm going to understand it and I'm going to like it. And I'm like, this isn't that good. Like, it's Dalton. I mean, that's the main problem. I don't like Dalton. He's not a smooth guy. He can't sell a joke very well. He's just always grumpy. Craig goes for that dark look, but Craig can sell a joke. Craig is smooth. Craig is cool. Dalton is not. And I don't like him. I've never liked him. Never, ever. I've never come close to it. And I keep an open mind. Every time I go back and do these marathons, I'm like, all right, here we go. Living Daylights, License to Kill. Although I love License to Kill. I just don't like him. I don't like Dalton. I think Cara was a horrible Bond girl. It's just useless. If they ever have some gripe about like useless Bond girls and how it's insulting, blah, 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 well, I'll give you that on this one. But again, sometimes people are just useless. It's okay. Sometimes they're useless guys in a movie. No one seems to care about that. Well, Cara's a useless girl in here. The henchman, Yorgi, I'm not a big fan of. Necros isn't bad. Whitaker is just a forgettable villain. Nobody likes Whitaker. The ally, Saunders. Saunders sucks. He's a just frowny biscuit. The plot is all over the place. I can't follow it. Which, I don't put much credence with the plot. Like, all right, whatever. It's a Bond plot, whatever. But this, I don't know what's going on here. Not a big fan of like him teaming up with the fucking Taliban at the end. Maybe at the time we didn't know that they were some bad hombres, but there were a couple warning signs. Hey, but that's a whole other story. We can tackle that topic on a different podcast. I'm not going to get into them, but I'm not really crazy about that either. So I don't know what does that leave us if I don't like all those things. I like John Barry's score. I think it has a great soundtrack. Actually, I'm actually serious about that. I think most of the action sequences are great. The car chase, the cello chase, the pre-titles is cool. The plane at the end, that whole stunt like on the back with those drugs and everything, it's pretty cool. The first like 20-30 minutes of the movie I really love. The whole sniper scene and all that, it's dark. I love all that. But other than that, man, I just don't like it. And I think we'd have had a little bit better movie if you'd have put Brosnan in there, if you'd have kind of smoothed off the edges. Oh, well, Dalton's the closest to Fleming. Who cares? Saltzman and Broccoli at the beginning knew that they couldn't just do a faithful interpretation of Fleming's novels because he was just too rough around the edges. They had to smooth it out. They had to make him a little humorous, give him a martini, have everything tongue-in-cheek, so that the audience could kind of accept and have fun with it, rather than be a little horrified this is like a trained killer. That was their smart thing. The Fleming novels don't translate 100% well to the screen. They had to change a couple things. So this whole he's the most faithful interpretation of Fleming. Okay, is that a good thing? Yeah, I guess he is, sure. But Fleming's novels don't work as well on the screen. He's not as likable. He's a pretty rough and quiet and brooding guy in the books. It makes for an interesting character to read about, but on the screen, it's a little more like, okay, I'm not really having fun. And that's what a Bond movie's all about, people. In case you forgot, it's 2 hours of fun, escapism. Let's enjoy ourselves. Dalton's never enjoyed a goddamn ice cream sundae. What? What does that mean? Anyway, so that's it. That's what I got for Living Daylights. Not a big fan. This ends up around like number 20, 19, 21 for me. I don't know, man. Maybe one day. I'm still open to it. That's the sad thing. When Bond 26 comes out and I start marathoning all these movies again, I'm going to go into Dalton and saying, all right, here we go. Timothy Dalton. I am open-minded. Wow me, Tim. Give it to me. So we'll see. A couple of the fun facts before we go. I'm going to give y'all some fun facts that are as fun as Timothy Dalton himself. Timothy Dalton is the only actor to have all his movies start with the same letter. The Living Daylights is the 15th Bond movie. Dalton is the 4th actor to play Bond. You having fun yet? Aren't those fun? These are fun facts, aren't they? Dalton's jokes got 600% less laughs than Roger Moore. Did you know that? We did a study. There's a $100,000 prize offered to a fan that can offer a production still where Dalton isn't brooding. So send that in and get your money. And that concludes the Dalton fun facts. Didn't you have fun with that? Don't blame me. Blame him. He's still alive. You can write him a letter. So that's Living Daylights. Sorry I'm not a fan. It's okay if you are. Teach their own. I just don't like them. Sorry. One day. But hell, I don't like him and I like License to Kill. So I think this movie just kind of sucks a little bit. I mean, all those little things I just listed, like henchman, villain, girl, Bond, plot, ally, like all of them I just don't like. Okay, we get it, St. John Smythe. You don't like the fucking movie. Let's move on. All right. What are we doing next? Maybe From Russia with Love. All right. Goodbye.